All right. Good morning, everybody. Looks like we are all set. Getting set up here. Happy Monday to everyone, and welcome back. Um, obviously, welcome back from our weekend where we had some reflection on historical events that happened back in the U.S. Patriots Day, just kind of reflecting on what that means and the impact it had to us in the United States. But as we kind of enter into our new week, as always, my name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets, and it is September 12th, 2022. Hopefully, we can look at a market with some more opportunity. I think last week was a bit of a shakeup in regards to some relative weakness that we've seen, kind of changing the tide a little bit. Certainly some follow through on the S&P bounce that we've been looking at playing. Some of those key levels really showing themselves and reflecting in the price activity. And now, as we come into a new week, we're going to see what other levels to kind of pay attention to. What are some of the economic factors, whether it be new data or potentially some changes in ongoing conflict, along with just our normal analysis and expectation of movement. And that's, of course, where we'll start off today. So as always, I like to start off on a Monday talking about the SPX Expected Move. And for those maybe new, joining us for the first time or not familiar with this process, what we look at every single week is what the S&P 500 index is pricing for relative movement on the week. And this is a derived value that we get from the option market of the SPX index. So last week, we saw that the market was showcasing about a $94 expected move. The market had closed on the prior Friday at about $39.25. So our upside was about $40.18. And as we did have some bounce follow through last week, we actually saw a bit of a breach. Interesting that we're seeing a breach on a shorter trading week. It was a 4-day instead of a 5-day trading week. Market had even priced in higher volatility, but unfortunately for people who are selling premium, getting a breakout like that on a Friday puts a lot of risk into the market. It's usually related to some gamma risk in the option contracts. And instead of getting about a $96 move, we actually moved approximately 143 points on this index. So, oops. Lost my number. Which is about a 1.5 time expected move breach. So we talk about this occasionally. It's very common to see larger breaks of expected move on the Fridays because that's when the risk is highest for the option contracts. And this risk can be perpetuated throughout the day. You'll usually see sort of a grind in one direction from the price activity. Usually we call it a trend, and it certainly has the characteristics of a price trend, but the actual movement in and out of that trend is very choppy, almost algorithmic at times, and very hard to counter. Playing short on a Friday after an expected move breach to the upside, you're going to get a couple of opportunities, but you're not going to often see big downside plays unless the volume really kicks back in to bring us back to the expected move bounce. So just a reflection on Friday. It's notable that we're still in sort of a 3-day bounce. We haven't really seen significant consolidation yet. And as we've exited our daily downtrend, we're no longer structured in a daily downtrend. a lot of traders are probably looking for that first daily pullback, mostly to get into something that could form a much stronger weekly low, which we'll take a look at in just a moment. So for this week, and we'll look at where these numbers come from, the market is pricing about a $96.5 expected move. Last week we closed at 4067.36, and if you extrapolate the highs and the lows, you're getting about 4164 to the upside and 3971 to the downside. As always, I kind of want to look at these levels more from a technical sense, because most weeks we are going to see a touch at the very least of one of these levels. It's pretty rare to not get a touch of either side. I think this week here was one of the few examples over the past probably 3 months of trade. So for the most part, you want to be looking at what's going to happen if the market moves to these levels. Here you can basically see like that daily consolidation taking place, and that would just bring us to 3970. If we keep bouncing, it's obviously going to have to hold a lot of last week's momentum, and getting up to 4164 puts a lot of pressure on these participants in the market. Essentially, those who are still holding short from the Fed chair discussion and some of the pivoting coming out of the market, the idea that the Fed was going to pivot heavily. That obviously took out a lot of bulls who were playing that strategy. So where are these numbers coming from? The way I grab them every single week is this particular platform has a think back capability. It allows you to look at the market's pricing on certain days, so you can adjust your calendar to whatever session has already passed. And when it comes to the option market, it shows the option expected move for that series on a particular day. So for weekly series, which is what we're looking at, I'm pulling it back to a weekend date. That way I know the market is closed, everything's settled out from the previous Friday, and I'm looking at the next Friday series. Now, this week is a little special because there is both an AM and a PM series in the SPX index. So you want to be careful to grab the appropriate one. But normally, you're just looking at the PM series. The AM series isn't always there. And for that series, you're wanting to grab the expected move value. In this case, it's presented pretty much plus or minus this particular number. You know, it's arguable whether this is the exact Black-Scholes number. That this platform does a little bit of additional aggregation, but this is what we use every single week. So for those who are new and maybe unsure where these values come from, first things first, this is not support and resistance. It's more about option risk. And second, this is something you can do every single day because this product has daily option series. You can also do it every single week like we do and put it on your chart. You'll kind of get a sense of where option traders are evaluating risk relative to the time of the week. So basically until this series is over. So that's where that comes from. And obviously we do that every single Monday, pretty much, I think over the past year and a half so far. So it's been quite a while. Some additional notes about this, since I am on the option topic. This is a good week to take a closer look at your option series and start to understand where the larger trade is taking place, because we have a couple of special characteristics about this week that are more option focused. One is this AM series. You'll notice that as I scroll down, The AM series only shows once a month. It's usually the third week of every month, and it coincides with your monthly expiration. So anytime there's a monthly series, third Friday of every week, or sorry, third Friday of every month, an AM series often shows on the SPX. So what that means is you'll have a little bit of a rollover trade occurring in this series. And while you won't necessarily gain new information at times just by looking at this series, you'll often see how heavy particular strikes are. And, notably here, a very psychological price, 4,000, is not only quite heavy on the AM series, but it's also very heavy on the actual Friday PM series. So these strikes, they hold a lot of weight in the market. They're gravity points at times. And in order for the market to move away from them, you really need a lot of participation in certain behavioral price activity. So often you're looking for trends to kind of just continue to hold. And if you see breaks or structural changes in that, you often evaluate these as places for the market to pull back into, value zones, high transactional areas that often can provide a little bit of a challenge to push away. So those are things to kind of focus in on when you have this additional information. Another thing to watch out for this week is we do have a triple witching on Friday. So it's your index options, your stock options, your futures rolling, and then there's some stock single options that also expire. So triple or quad, however you want to define it. Lots of option and just rollover kind of characteristics on that Friday. Doesn't necessarily affect intraday trade too heavily, but there are some periods where you might see abnormal volume. And that's usually a larger roll occurring, usually at a specific time. You want to be thinking maybe on the hour. Sometimes you'll see those higher volume events just shake the market. And that's usually a large roll that's occurring, along with some potentially new trade that's establishing on that hour. So those are for Friday. And if the market is not necessarily directional to a heavy degree this week, maybe if we're a little bit more range bound and maybe if we have some key levels to trade around, be on the lookout for some of those prices to take effect. And I think that can unfortunately mess with a lot of traders, especially ones who are seeing previous momentum, but they're not necessarily prepared for choppy price action or a lot of balance, which we know that this is very likely in these levels, and we're kind of getting close to those bounds. We've seen it in June, we've seen it in early August, and obviously if we get back up here, we might see it again in September. So these are our levels for the week. Let's go ahead and talk about the SPX, the SPY, and shift over a bit. So last week, pretty characteristic trend line response in the market. Lots of short covering off of these levels. We're possibly seeing some new buying that's occurring as well. The volume is not really indicative of a huge initiation, but overall, we can see that certain trends have broken back to the bulls, short term especially, but even the daily trend is now technically broken. And while we're not in a daily uptrend quite yet, we are potentially seeing a setup that's going to form later. Some notes about why this area of the market can be sort of a challenge for a lot of traders. One, anytime trends change or you get pivots in the market, those are immediately some responsive areas for you to consider whether it's worth holding maybe your net short in the market and you're looking for more downside, a pivot against your position is obviously going to put a little pressure. And at times, they can actually knock you out of trades depending on where your location is. So a lot of people are probably looking at this zone in the SPX and in the SPY as the area to hold. If the market is going to continue lower, we can bounce. We can even retrace about 61% like we saw in this pullback and ultimately still remain captured within a zone of contention. Obviously, the highs and lows are pretty much set at this point. We have our sort of peak at 430. That was off of the 200-day moving average. We have this, of course, 390 support that we called out quite a few times and why that level was so important. And I think if the market compresses any further, especially if we're getting some back and forth trade up into these balance ranges that we've experienced previously, these zones of the market can challenge a lot of traders. So one, be prepared for that type of activity. We're entering into the same zone. The volume profile dictates that this is a common expectation for this type of area. So let me go ahead and kind of remove that. This is a high transactional zone for the market. This entire volume shelf has been an area that has been reclaimed many times. It's also a VPOC. It's not necessarily this year's VPOC, but if we come down to maybe just the last 6 months of trade, so 180-day chart, you're going to notice about 413 is the SPY's major VPOC for most of this year, maybe not a full year of trade. So it's a value area. It's a spot that the market can chop. It has shown that it can chop here as well. And a lot of core trade is placed here in regards to positions. We're often going to see things like the skew in the market change. We might see put-call ratios start to change here. And while it's not going to show as a price level inflection, it's a big if-then scenario. Above VPOC, you could almost interpret as a bit more bullish, especially if we're kind of rising from it, but it puts up a lot of risk. If the market ever rejects back below, taking that upside risk above VPOC is going to lead into more oversold or kind of return to some lower extension type plays. And that's what the market has been doing recently. Hence why certain trades can actually be quite challenging. Most of what these pivots have formed into is a lot of very conservative longs and shorts. So for example, this area here, our major rejection off of our trend line, that of course stopped the bullish play. We saw pretty much all of August get returned from a price perspective back into these lower bounds. And the market had some pretty nasty monthly looking candles. We saw major rejection on August off of our trend line. You look at September and how it's forming already, and that's getting countered. So it's this idea that most of our monthly candles, and of course our short-term trade notwithstanding, has been wide volatility. We're seeing massive moves up, back in, and really just knowing where your risk levels are, seeing if the market's going to change at them and respond accordingly. It also brings into focus that this market, if it ever breaks through either of those trend lines, there's very likely going to be some pretty significant follow through. If we ever see a breach of this downtrend line, that's obviously going to spark potentially some weekly uptrends and looking at a market that may want to reclaim something as simple as the all-time highs. If we ever see a breach to the downside, that's obviously going to be a very nasty looking breakdown. And obviously the momentum so far has been bearish, even though we get these massive bounces in the market. So how a trader should be responding to this is really looking for those moments to change, to evaluate whether your risk still makes sense in some sort of directional bias. And obviously looking for those moments to actually confirm and really understanding when you should be out of a certain trade. Holding longer positions and longer dated positions in this market is probably proving quite challenging. I think because of the volatility, we're seeing a lot of that back and forth. And additionally, when does the market decide to do these types of inversions? So some things last week that were quite a bit notable was we wanted certain stocks to bounce, and we were getting a lot of follow through in certain names. Tesla was a characteristically stronger, had a lot of relative strength stock last week. Even stocks like Microsoft, another tech name, were bouncing. You know, they were showing what the market potential looked like. And I think what was holding back the real momentum, you know, a lot of the upside potential was Apple. Apple is one of those stocks that probably bounced last. So most of the week it was showing more relative weakness, just a lack of potential upside. And then we finally got just a small relief rally on Friday, just a final daily pivot getting established, that minor low that we were looking for. And that can really throw a lot of contention into a market when you don't have necessarily all of your key stocks in favor of your thesis. Things kind of take their time to form, and a lot of the time it's different sectors that are actually showcasing the strength. So, you know, last week we talked about healthcare, probably one of the stronger recoveries that we're seeing. Financials as well, lots of relative strength just in those past couple of sessions. They're leading this market higher. They're the ones to pay attention to. And if you're looking for another opportunity to short, they're going to be the ones that probably have to reject first. The ones that are maybe starting to bounce, they have a little bit more potential upside. But if the market goes into another fit of volatility, all of them have to reject around the same time. You'll notice that most of our rejections, most of our deeper sell swings, they occur when every sector is in favor of the downside. Whereas when we get bounces and potentially some upside in the S&Ps, it's sector by sector. One sector maybe leads, one lags, but overall they're holding, and then they take turns showcasing strength, whether it be on a single session or just across a couple of weeks. That usually showcases a bit of sector rotation, and it keeps the market in a healthier state, as opposed to a more fear, volatility, and obviously correlated downside move, something that's got the momentum to break trends. So wanted to call that out because if you're looking last week at the sector performance, there's going to be a lot of relative strength last week. You know, the market did see upside, and most of our indices are up, you know, anywhere from 3 to 4%. But a lot of the sector strength showed itself throughout the week. It wasn't all at once. Discretionaries, as I mentioned with Tesla, even material strength, you know, there are smaller sectors that are actually getting a bit more upside from last week, and then all of our key sectors following suit over time. with technology really being the last one to truly have some bounce in its pivot. So for this week, I think there's probably a few things you want to watch out for. Fridays and just throughout the week, check the option chain. Start seeing where some of the value assessment is going to be. What are the key price levels to watch out for? And if we start to maybe consolidate, that's an easy spot to target for neutral strategies, or even maybe something like an expansion spread, butterfly or otherwise. We also want to watch out for, go ahead and pull this back in. We want to watch out for our economic data this week. There's not a lot of notable names on earnings, so we're not really too focused on big after hours shakeups from the earnings side. The only stocks I really want to call out here are Oracle, that's later this evening, and then Adobe on Thursday. I think that's a double check that. That's a aftermarket close earnings. So Adobe and Oracle. But more importantly, I think on the economic side, we have a week full of inflationary data catalysts. So we have things like CPI, core, and just nominal CPI on Tuesday. We have PPI on Wednesday. So this is year over year PPI for August. And then on Thursday, I think another one to maybe focus in on is retail sales. All of these data points coincide with the, I guess, the rhetoric, which is Fed's rate decision coming into the September meeting. Is there going to be any change, large degree or not, in the probability of our 75-point rate hike, which is at this point pretty much a high certainty. We're very likely to see another 75 points unless things change this week. You can see that probability showing itself here. And then last but not least, with all this data coming out, is there any surprise? Is there anything that the market would interpret as another major increase in volatility, and obviously a bit of a bearish reaction for whether or not inflation is truly coming off, and to what degree, and what sectors is it coming off in? So all of that economic data notwithstanding, we'll be looking for trend changes. We'll probably be looking for a little bit of chop. Don't sleep on your June balance levels. We saw how important they were back in August, and I'll go ahead and redraw them here for those unfamiliar. These are not levels to ignore. They're levels to respect, because we've seen lots of short-term trade occur around them, and we're already back inside this area. So it's a big spot to consider those previous highs and lows. Consider your intraday plays maybe off of them. And obviously, if you're setting up any sort of directional trade this week, be extremely careful of the chop. You're going to see potentially that back and forth for a couple of sessions as we kind of reestablish into our VPOC. And this is that volume profile area that we've seen before, that 411, I'll just call it 412. It kind of shows a little different depending on how much data you have, but it's a notable spot. We've broken certain trends, as I've mentioned, and really what we're expecting this week is maybe some nominal trade into that economic data, and that can really shake up the market once again. So with all that said, my name is Jared. This is Engineering the Market. Stay tuned for pre-market prep. We'll take a look at our gappers list this morning, and obviously trade a bit safe this week. Maybe not be thinking so much directional, more establishing new positions, and potentially looking at some neutral trade if we do chop around these June and August balance range price levels. So trade safe, and we'll talk more tomorrow.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. I hope you had an incredible weekend. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, brother. I'm doing all right. How are you? How was your
Doing
weekend?
doing good, man. Weekend was good.
Good.
Can't complain, and hopefully you had an amazing weekend as well, man. Hopefully doing so
I
well.
did. It was a very nice weekend. It's it's fall because you can hear Cowboys fans crying everywhere.
Love that. Love that. Yes, indeed. So guys, as we get to it, back into the markets today. Again, SPY looking pretty active, Norm, this morning. So again, I was off on Friday, so didn't really get to do much trading and see what was happening. But looks very active today.
Yeah, it was a good day
Um,
Friday. We're gapping up today.
yeah.
We've got big inflation data coming out the next couple of days. So, Fed meeting coming up, not this week, but next. So that could be telling. We really don't have any data coming out this morning.
Hmm.
Any New York Fed 3-year inflation expectations, which won't do squat to the market. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but gapping up a little bit this morning, trying to give it back last 15 minutes. We'll see how it goes.
All right, excellent. We'll see how that goes there. Our gappers list this morning, guys, pretty big on the gap upside. Again, without going into details, we'll see what's going on with those names there. On the on the gap down this morning, we got Pixie, which again, that was active sometime last week as well, if I remember. That I think it was very wild. So not sure what's up to today. This is a 500,000 one as far as the flow. I think Finbit has it a little bit higher. Either way, very um, uh, volatile and risky stock here. And then we have Roblox on the downside. Everything else in the green this morning. Neo and we got Mary, we got Expert, we got a few on here that we're very familiar with. Let's see what those are up to. So let's dive into the details there, guys. We're gonna go Control A, Control X, and remove this watch list here. And we'll start with VTYX at the moment. So VTYX up 60%, even as higher as it hit 39.59 as the high of the pre-market there. The spread looks very concerning at times here, so be very careful with this one. What's the float? 22.2. Any good news today on this one, Norm? Worth watching?
Somebody's going to have to fill me in because despite looking around, I haven't found it. So I
Okay.
don't, I don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, something's happening. It is a lower float. It could be manipulated to a degree, but
Yeah.
with over 2 million shares traded and up 60% roughly, something's happening.
Yeah, yeah. Careful, guys. Very risky stock here. 22.2 million shares flow on it. But again, just the way it's moving here, you can tell this thing went from just on this candle alone here, 36 all the way up to 39. And I'm looking at a 5 minute. Let's see just a 1 minute just to take a look at what's happening. Yeah, look how this thing shot up here, guys. In a matter that could have been a couple of seconds there. So again, just be very careful. This candle 36 to 39. So careful on this one. Heading down to CVNA. This is Carvana, right? I mean, I heard they were not doing
It
too
is.
well overall, not just today, just overall as far as their business goes. But what we got going on today? They are up 7.2, 177,000 shares traded.
They
Not a
had an
whole lot of
upgrade this
volume.
morning.
Earnings?
No, they had an upgrade this
Oh,
morning.
upgrade.
This one is actually a bit of a sore one for me. I took a swing on this.
Mm-hmm.
It went up a good amount. And then it didn't hit my targets, came back, and this thing is it would have been I was in around $20 and it
Mm.
got all the way up to
Mm.
55. The day after I got rid of it,
Yeah.
it was a straight shot.
Oh
You see that
man.
on what, July 26th?
Okay. So you're
See
going
that?
back
See it
though.
came back down toward my break even. I was like, I'm not too great on
Oh,
this, and then
okay. Yeah.
it went to $50.
Oh,
Yeah,
right here. Oh man, yeah. That would definitely be a sore one for you. Absolutely. Look at that one all the way up to a 55, 57, 60. Wow.
so
Ouch.
anyway,
It happens. It happens.
can't win them all.
Uh, as far as day trading though, I don't think it's a great one to
It
begin
doesn't.
with.
It's not great intraday. That's the one
Yeah.
thing I would say here.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So.
It had an upgrade this morning, but
Mhm.
who knows?
I'm going to put as a possible, guys, just because I know the potential of this one could be very slim to actually do something great today. And it needs good volume. We had volume in August here on one day. Out of that, the other day is very light on volume. Let's see if today's going to be the day. BMY this morning, they are up 7%. Oh yeah, we know this stock very well. They don't trade they don't trade well in the
Bristol
intraday.
Myers, it's not a good intraday.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, it's pretty bad. So I'm gonna skip on it for now. INM. This one is up 5.3 at the moment. They are 202,000 shares traded. They look horrible pre-market, horrible on the daily as well. Yeah, let's find something else, guys. ASTS, also not a great one. Looks like we looked at this in the past, maybe when it was gapping up here because we do have some levels there. Doesn't look great today though. ASTS, yeah, doesn't look great. Doesn't have the volume. We need to see a lot more than what we're seeing right now. Here's
I do want to say that
yeah.
VTYX, a couple of people, both Scrappy Show on YouTube, and we've got some peeps in the room. Paul saying Oppenheimer upgraded that ticker, so that is the catalyst. It's a hell of a move for an analyst upgrade.
It really is, man. This thing is up a 57% right now, 2.5. So again, let's see how that goes. Sean is asking if I'm a Jets or Giants fan. A Giants fan, man. Come on, you should know that. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Heading down, I saw Neo. Yeah, man, Neo is so garbage, guys. I mean, this stock I traded a few times last week, Thursday and Wednesday, and man, it does one move at the market open and then it just goes flat. It really does nothing. Well, how did it do Friday? I didn't see it Friday. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Look at this pop here and then just flat. Nothing happened. Same thing happened Thursday. That's when I traded it. If I go back to where's Thursday? It was a little more movement, but same thing. It goes up and down here, then it just goes flat. So they're not what the same stock they used to be. Their daily looks great. At all. It's just they're not the same ticker. You get
this happens, guys. Don't get married to it and trade garbage just because it used to trade well. There was a full year back in 2018 when Micron MU was every day. I mean, we knew it as our best friend or our good buddy or whatever the hell it was. And then that disappeared, and AMD really took the spot. And MU trades terribly now.
It's horrible, man. I mean, I had some good trades last week, but there was just no continuation. It's just a lot of choppiness. So pre-market looks
in and
great.
in and out of style.
Yeah. So they have a great pre-market action. They had it last week, but the market open is just brutal. So I like the daily here for possible breakout. We'll have to see. It's good for good scalping, in and out quickly. Outside of that, you need a very good entry. So I'll put them as a possible because you can get some scalping out of it, but don't expect a nice trend or trading out of it. Here is Mara, guys, up 3.3, 500,000. I'm not a big fan of Mara. Haven't been for a while now. Similar to Neo, they just lost a lot of their great trading. They had a good day on last week, Wednesday, I believe, or Thursday. But I'm not seeing anything I like this morning. Here's XBEF. XBEF has just been getting crushed. They finally found a base off 15 here, up at 16.54. Up 3.2, but XBEF without volume, it doesn't trade very well. Even the last couple of days where they had some catalysts come out here with their numbers, and I think Neo reported, and they kind of were doing a sympathy move, and they all traded horrible. It was just not great as far as XBEF goes. So I'm not going to add it to my list, guys, today. I know you guys are going to bring up a good possible bottoming action here. Yes, I agree. But you need volume. You need a lot of volume. 309 now is not going to do it. You're going to get volume at the market open, but you're going to need to see some really, really good volume to make this worth your while. Let's head over to, we're looking at Riot, similar to Mara. I think this one is actually worse than Mara as far as day trading goes. So I'm not a fan of that. AMC this morning. I like the daily on AMC. If we can get our guys over at Wall Street Bets to get this pushing up higher, it can actually do something. You got some good levels here. You do have a little bit of some bottoming action here around $8 now at $9, almost 10. So yeah, this could be something setting up nicely here. I'm not saying it's going to be today. Our guys, yeah. We'll see what happens there. Here is Coin. Oh, look at Coin on Friday, guys. Look at this. Some nice pop on Friday. How did it do? What was that, on earnings or just overall?
There's a bunch of crypto stuff going on.
Oh, okay. So it had a decent move on Friday. Looks like coming off a nice Thursday and Wednesday as well. Not sure, man. No heavy volume right now. Possible. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to this. Oxy is always fun to watch. I'm definitely going to put Oxy on my list. They're hit or miss. They can be very terrible. Pre-market action is not going to give you a whole lot, but we've seen the pre-market action be crappy and do give us a lot of good days, a lot of good trading opportunities. So we'll keep it on here for now. The only one on our gap down list is Pixie. And last week, man, I don't know how you trade this thing. It's just brutal. I saw the price action on Thursday and Wednesday. I mean, this thing was the spread 50 cents, 75 cents at times. I mean, it's just ugly, 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 guys, for day trading. So not a big fan of this. And look at the price action on Friday. Man, this thing is just all over the place, right? Going from 32 to 38. Yeah. Very careful, guys. You get caught on the wrong side of this. 'Cause it's all about timing, right? You get caught on the wrong side of this, and it's going to make you pay big time. So very, very mindful if you're going to be trading that. Norm, I know it looks light this morning as far as selections. What do you like on your end?
I'm still looking, man. I haven't found anything that I'm in love with. I will say, Meta was active last week. It might be decent this morning. It's
Oh,
got
wow,
good
nice volume.
volume. It just hadn't really gapped, so we'll see what it does.
Yeah, I like the volume as well on it. Man, good move yesterday right to this level 2 that we had on the daily. So yeah, Meta's good, guys. Worth putting on here. Let's see if that volume can actually pick a direction. Might not do it pre-market, but maybe at the market open, we can get some eyes on this and some direction. Let's head over to the chat. What do you guys like this morning? I'm looking at both YouTube and our chat room. Tesla, yeah, Tesla's one of our usual suspects. Man, look at the couple of days they have had. But again, just look at the SPY. They're basically doing what the overall market is doing. But still, a good one as a usual suspect to keep an eye on, especially today where we don't have a lot going on. Tesla is good. AMD, Apple, Nvidia. Our usual stuff is going to be on our list today, as we don't have a whole lot to choose from, and we can always make changes later down the line, right? So here's AMD right now. No, volume is not that light, man. 830 at 842. That's pretty good volume, guys. That's pretty good volume. The pre-market sucks at the moment. There's no direction. We're not really gapping up or down, but we got some volume on here, man. 830 something for AMD this early is good. Apple with 800,000 as well. Better pre-market activity. I like the daily on Apple too for a possible push here. If the market is going to be strong today, that's going to be key for it. I actually like Apple better than Tesla and AMD at the moment. So definitely Apple on my list. Heading on down, Guild. Is this Gilead? What is it? Yeah. Oh, look at that.
It's
Got something
ramping
going
this
on.
morning. I don't know what the catalyst is. I haven't found it yet, but
I traded this before, man.
it trades
I
terribly
don't, yeah, I
intraday.
don't trade it well. They can move, but I don't like the pullbacks are very aggressive, similar to Tesla. You could be right in the overall direction, but your timing could be so off because the pullbacks are just too aggressive on this thing. So a few times I traded, I either came out break even or a very small loss or green. Never really got in sync with the way this thing trades. So possible for now. Can be a good one. It's got good volume up 2.8. I like the daily as well. Let's see, man. Just be patient. Be careful with the number of shares you take on this thing. It can move very aggressive. Apple's on deck. Ben, Joshua, thank you. Dennis, Roblox, RBLX. Let me see what we got going on. Down 1.8 after a couple of really decent days here. 461,000. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, we had a stretch where Roblox did very, very well right over here, right? And it actually, not just on the daily, if you go into some of these days, they actually traded decent, which was surprising. I traded maybe one or two of those days there. I'm going to put them as a pause. I'm going to come back to them. I'm not going to completely dismiss it now. We'll come back to that. Docu had earnings last week because I saw them on the calendar. And yeah, look at that on Friday. So it must have been Friday or Thursday night. Nice pop there, but they are horrible, man. I don't know how I trade on Friday. I didn't see it, but they are, for me, I don't like the way they trade at all. I'm not a fan. NCLH. No, not really in play. Love the daily. I see what you're looking at here, DO or do. It looks good for a possible breakout if you can get the volume in the direction. Same thing with CCL. Daily looks good. NCLH a little bit better, but yeah, I like what you're looking at the daily here. It's just, are we going to get the momentum here to get going? Volume is not there right now, so there's no eyes looking at this thing at the moment, and you need that. Did we look at INM? I think we did. Yeah.
Yes,
So
that
this
was
is
on our list.
Yeah, low flow is starting to get going now. We'll put it right here next to BTYX. Low flow is starting to move. We'll come back to it. Careful, guys, on these low flow stocks. Okay, very, very careful. This one is 634,000. Even if that's not correct, it could be a little higher. When you're moving from 1180 to 1340,
Finviz is in the same realm, so
yeah,
it
oof,
probably is. Yeah,
you
just be
gotta
careful.
be careful. Yep. Jack Cat, you're giving us Meta, which we have has the new VR leaks. All right, cool. So we have Meta on there. Okay, I don't know how much that will move things. I mean, VR is. I don't know if it's big enough to move Meta like that. We'll see. I don't know. KR, nice volume. Yeah, but KR trades horrible pre-market. Yeah, this is a black trade because you're not even seeing that. And again, this is not a great intraday trader. So, Christian, we won't be watching that. Look at the daily as well. Very, very crappy. Great investment stocks, great dividends if you're holding it long term. But as far as day trading, and that's what they don't move, right? When you have these stocks that have a good dividends, people hold on to these stocks. There's not a lot of volatility in them, so you're not going to get good movement out of KR, similar to Coca-Cola and some other ones out there. TQQ, you can watch as well. We'll be looking at the SPY, but you can look at the TQQ, SQQ, Daniel as well. Our usual friends, SPY, Apple, and AMD, agree 100%. Hater, thank you so much for always being in chat. And guys, if you haven't done so already, over on YouTube, if you hit that thumbs up, we really appreciate it. We're sitting at 84 right now. We'd love to get up to above 250 before we end the show. That would be really, really much appreciated. All right, I think we covered everyone. Roblox CEO on CNBC now talking advertising in metaverse. Okay, cool. I have Roblox right on here. They're down right now. We'll see if that changes things by the time he's done. All right, with that said, guys, let's head on over to our community events and announcements over on our website at barefoot.com.
Yeah, Roblox got a underperform rating this morning out of Cowan. That's part of what's hitting them. So I think he's probably replying to that.
Oh, okay.
So, all right, guys. If you're ever interested in finding out what's going on the education side, in the next couple of weeks, you can always head to barebulltraders.com/webinars or click it in the nav bar at the top every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. You've got onboarding and technology with my man Carlos. Then on Tuesday, you've got strategy. That is with Thor tomorrow night, volume price action, the where. And then following week, 5 p.m., note the special time, managing an open position with Eamon. Wednesdays dedicated to psychology. This week we've got Creta, 5 p.m. Eastern as well, talking about finding your mental edge. And then next week, 8 p.m. back to the normal time, analyzing your psychology journal. Thursdays is mentorship. You've got 11 a.m. with John, 4 p.m. with Ed, 8 p.m. with Thor. Don't forget about stocktradingsimulator.com, our free web-based replay simulator where you can go 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to hone your trading skills. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't been in the chat room, you'd like to come see what it's all about, you can go to barebulltraders.com, sign up for that intro membership, which is on the homepage about halfway down the page in the membership chart. Click that, join now, and then use the promo code PreMarket24 to get a discount off the 1-week trial. That is a one-time payment. It is not recurring. And then you have to choose a different membership category after that week is up. And if you'd like to become an elite member and gain access to all the webinars I was just describing, use the promo code READ50 to get half off the elite annual membership and a free one-on-one coaching session with Dr. Kenneth Reed.
All right. Thank you very much, Norm. Appreciate that. We got a good question here, which I actually want to answer because some of you guys might be having this same question. Who knows? So Jack Cat is asking on YouTube, is it worth joining Barefoot Traders when I'm only on a paper account? Well, the better question is, do you plan to learn and trade real money at the same time? And the answer to that's a clear answer is no. You're not going to learn and be trading real money. So you do want to join a community. You do want to join learning with a paper account, right? Because the mistake that many traders make, and this is important too, guys, because starting out, this happens a lot with a lot of traders that are new. They want to start when things are really good or when they're ready to be able to have a live account with money. And you're setting your mentality to think that you're going to start trading to make money. And that is a big, big mistake and a big, not a realistic focus, right? You want to join a community to learn how to trade without hurting your account, without having to trade real money first, and then eventually worry about making money, right? So yeah, the faster you can start learning, the better. And if you're not ready to trade live, that's okay. That's like saying, I'm going to go to school for 4 years and then I'm going to make money after. right? It's the same thing.
There's a reason that
you
we add the simulator as an add-on to our memberships when people first join.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So we don't want you trading your live account as you're learning. You shouldn't. So hopefully that helps you make a better decision on what what works best for you. All right, guys, let's get to it this morning. We have our list is okay. It's not great, but it's going to get better, and we'll find something to trade. Things usually come up. We'll look at the scanners as well. We have those ready to go whenever. As of now, we have Oxy, which again could be really nice. We've seen some pretty good stuff out of Oxy. I actually like Oxy quite a bit. Meta here is moving now, so we got some volume, but now we're starting to pick a little bit of a direction, so that's good there. Love their daily. If you pay attention here, we're sitting at what seems to be a significant level for Meta. Hold on a second, I just got to move my mouse pad over because it keeps getting stuck. There we go. For Meta there, 170. So I like what we're doing there. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Tesla also on the day looks very, very nice. They tend to follow the overall market, but their overall daily as well looking pretty decent here also. AMD, usual suspect as well on the list. I like the daily as well as the pre-market action, 865,000. Some okay volume for it this morning. And Apple's pre-market action, as far as price action, looks very good. We're up 1.2 on Apple, guys. So I like what's happening there as well. I like the bottoming action of 154 above the previous day close here. So that is good. Again, we'll see if Apple can get going here. It's another one that can trade very well. But particularly this morning, their pre-market action, it's looking very, very attractive. So really like what's happening there. Cool. And as far as the secondary, just kind of quickly run through these. We have Roblox here, which I might move Roblox up. How many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I might move Roblox up here. Gilead, again, moving, guys, but just I'm not don't like the way that stock needs to be traded at times. Neo is all right. It's Carvana, AMC. We got some possibles here that just need some volume. But Roblox is could be interesting. Let's set levels for Roblox, and then we can always bring it down or change it for something else. All right, here goes levels, guys. Let's start with Oxy. Pre-market highs and lows hanging out right towards the bottom here. You got a nice little consolidation we had in the past as well. So this area, this range, it likes to be in this range. And when we do break out, we have done it in a nice fashion here back on August 19. We're up this morning. Hopefully that can mean something good for us today on the Oxy. So low of the pre-market right now, 66.52. We will slam a level there. Let's take a look at the high of the pre-market over at 67.89. Slightly above this on the daily, we got a couple of big levels, 70, 76, obviously a nice area of support and resistance towards the top, 77.14. And then you got a nice area here of support right at 73.34. Was a little bit of resistance, broke out of that pretty nice there, and then became support for a couple of days until we finally lost it back down to 65, where we like to hang out at. So above that, this morning, we'll see if this thing can get going. Again, as you guys know, if you're new, do not put a whole lot of weight on the pre-market action for Oxy. They can trade very good once the bell gets going there. So here's Meta, guys. Again, a good level at 170 there. We're actually gonna mark that this high of the pre-market is around 170.46. We're gonna mark that there, but you can see there's a lot of days, slamming against that closing, opening right around that area. Got a lot of resistance at that 170. 46. Then above that, we do have another good one here, 172.29. So 2 levels, all you need there on Meta for right now. Low of the pre-market just got created a few minutes ago over at 168.21. We'll slam a level there. And I think we're set. I want one more level though towards the bottom. Let's get one more. It looks like this is a good one right here, 166.84. Actually, it's really good. Now that I put it down, you can see where there's a lot of days opening, closing off of this level as well. I was just looking at this area because you have 4 days in here using that as support. But once I put that down, you can see there's more days actually slamming against that across the board. So that's a decent level, 166.84. So you're all set there on Meta, guys. Good volume this morning. Let's see if we're going to make a new pre-market low as we continue to just drop down here. Here's Tesla. Again, guys, Tesla can move with the market a little more aggressive. Their pullback's also very aggressive. So give yourself enough room if you are going to be trading Tesla. Giving yourself like a 50 cents or 30 cents, 10-cent stop. It's, could be tight on Tesla depending how it's moving that day. 306.27, good level there. And over here, 314.23, also a nice level towards the top. You're pretty much set. Towards the bottom, low of the pre-market is going to be down at a 298 296.01. So we'll slam one there. And then what else do we have here? Not the best level, only a couple of days, 295. So 295.05, a good one right on there. Several days opening, closing right around here. So I'm going to mark that down. Outside of that, you really got your big levels down here around 290. So if you look at 290, you got tons of support happening in that area. That's your major level if we were to lose 298. But 295 is a good one. We'll keep that there just in case. And this thing could move, guys. We've seen it move very aggressive. For example, the last couple of days in the green, 273, ended at 283. Went from 281, ended at what, 290, right? 291 ended at 299. So again, when you see these levels, like, wait a minute, that's a $5 level. Well, yeah, Tesla can move $5 just like that, right? We've seen it plenty of times. So again, be very careful with the number of shares you're taking and how you're planning your stops and your risk management. AMD, another one of our usual suspects right now. It's just hanging out right at the previous day close, looks like, or slightly above it. High of the pre-market this morning, we are sitting at 86.05. So we'll throw a level there. And outside of that, towards the top, we do have 88 based off this one here and a couple of days here. And then off of that, we got the big level, which is this one. This is a nicer one because 90.75, you can see how many days are slamming against that. And you have the beautiful resistance coming back up, resistance again, the breakout happening with volume. You can see how nice that broke out of that. Then later down the line, that becomes support again. That's what you want to see from a good level. You know, it can play both sides of the field here, the support and resistance. So that's good. Here's AMD there. AMD has a beautiful, probably one of the best pre-market activities this morning, guys, as far as the stocks that are not low flow activity like the ones we have down here. Let me bring these in. There we go. Okay, they were hidden. BTYX kind of, this doesn't look good now. See this little curve you're getting here. You're not able to make a new high. This is people dumping their shares, getting out of this thing. You know, they've been in since who knows 26, or if they were holding this stuff for a while. This is not good. There's no strength being shown right here. So be very, very careful thinking long here, guys. Again, it's just my opinion. I don't know what's going to happen with this, but I will not be looking to take this long if I was trading this thing. You know, be very, very careful because this weakness you're seeing here, it could be a breakdown coming. Doesn't mean to take it short. It's just a stock that you want to be very careful what you're doing here. Let's head back up to Apple. So Apple right now, 159.55 is the high of the pre-market, low of the pre-market. We're sitting at 158. So we'll throw a level there as well. Towards the top, guys, we have a good level here at 162.76. And then another one up here, the big one at 66.82. Great area of support, resistance. That's looking pretty nice there. So again, one of our usual suspects gets the volume, but today particularly their pre-market looks decent compared to the other ones that we have on deck. Let's take a look at Roblox. Roblox right now down 1.7, 482,000. Low of the pre-market 44.33, and then towards the top we are looking at 45.98. So some pretty good levels there. Towards the bottom, highs and lows of the last two trading days. And then towards the top here, we do have 47.90. We'll slam one there, and then we'll pull in here 49.86. So plenty of stuff there happening with Roblox. I know their CEO, as someone mentioned before, is speaking on a certain topic. So I'm not sure if it's still on CNBC, but we'll see what happens there. Volume is good, 482, and they could trade well, guys. We've seen Roblox actually do pretty good. And it looks like the last couple of days they've been doing well. Just want to, we'll go back to Apple in a second, Daniel. I got you. Let's go back to Roblox quickly here. See what it did Friday. Friday looks like it had a gap up day and a beautiful continuation. It's not bad. Nice opening here. A little flat for a second and then a breakout of the highs. Oh, it didn't actually break out. It just ended at the highs there. But a couple of breakouts there, so that's not bad. Let's take Apple. Here's Apple's the levels. Just to repeat them again, you have 158.01, which is pretty much the high from Friday, right? High from Friday right on. They're pretty close to that. High of this morning is 159.55, and then towards the top I got 162.76 and 166.82 on there. So that's your levels for Apple. All right, guys, we got a pretty decent list. Oh wow, it's only 9. Okay, so we are done pretty early as far as levels and building our watch list here. So we got time for some questions. If anybody has any questions or any other tickers to look at, we can do that. How can you check the amount of outstanding shares? So I am using Trade Ideas, right? So this little box here, this little box here, I'm using this to get my information. You can also use Finviz, right? Finviz is a good one. You can go to Finviz. You can go to Yahoo. Go to a lot of places to get that information. TradingTerminal.com as well, I believe, has it. Our website, so you can go there as well. There's tons of places you can get that information. All right, what else we have, guys? Carlos, can one make R and S levels in DAS automatically, or it needs to bit of programming? What do you mean automatically? And there's some levels you can make automatically, and that is your highs and lows of the last two trading days, right? Like those are popular automatically. You can make your high and low of the pre-market pop up automatically as well. Oh, you're looking for the pivot points. Yeah, you could do that. There's a study for that. Yeah. So Dave, I think David got you the answer. There's a study in that, so you can put that in so it automatically populates. You don't have to automatically calculate it. Do you use fundamentals in Dash Trader Pro? Is the data reliable? I don't use it in Dash Trader Pro. I go to, like, I'll go to Trading Terminal. I'll go to Finviz, another one that I use. A lot of the stuff that we don't have on our website is tradingterminal.com. It is being worked on. So just keep an eye on that, because Artie's working hard to make that website, put the information there that we need most for trading. But again, I'm not diving too deep into the fundamentals because I'm more of a technical trader on what's happening on the charts, more of a scalper type trader. So I care about the big picture fundamentals. Like, for example, what's the catalyst? What's moving this thing? Like, if we take a look at BYTX this morning, these catalysts, is it BYTX? BTYX, excuse me. This catalyst here doesn't do very well, man. Unless the catalyst is done here. The upgrade is from 40 to 60. I remember when they do these upgrades from 40 to 60, they're looking at, if you look at the actual analysis graph, they're looking like 3 months out. That doesn't mean today they're going to be 30 to 60, right? That upgrade is an outlook usually about 3 months out. No analyst is going to say, oh yeah, this is worth $40, $60 and the stock shoots up to 60. It happens, but this year is more just people pumping this up, especially because it's a lower flow stock, right? So that's what you're seeing here. So just be careful with that, because, man, I used to do this in the past quite a bit, and we got some time so we can talk shop a little bit. Where I would get in a trade, and it wasn't going my way, or was at break even. I'm like thinking, man, should I hold it overnight? Maybe it'll come back. Maybe, I can get this, I could turn this into a green trade. And then when you start doing that at night, when you can't trade it no more, right? When the market is close, you're still in this position, you start searching the stock, right? Have you guys done that? I've done that plenty of times. I hate it. Haven't done it in a while, thankfully. So you start searching the stock. Oh, what's the analyst say? What does this say? And what you find is that all these analysts their projection are 30 days out, 3 months out. They're not for today, right? They're for further out, and who knows if that's going to happen. And they have 3 projections, right? Usually you always want to see the one you want, which is the one that's going to be the highest. They have the high one, they have the middle one, they have the low, and we can actually be break even or even lower than the price that it is now. And this thing can come back down to 24 before it climbs its way back up to 40, right? So just be mindful of that with these upgrades and things like that, right? It doesn't mean it's going to shoot up to 40 to 60 today. It can happen, but I won't be surprised if this thing starts dwindling down here, right? So just be careful of that when it comes to some of these trades, right? So what else we have, guys? What do you think about a swing on Apple? I'm not a great swing trader. So this will be a better question for Brian, but swing trading now, I know, is very difficult at the moment, right? Because you could be right. And also, this is what Artie will say. Artie will say, what is your time frame? That's what Artie would say. What is your time frame? When we say swing trading, you're looking for a week, 2 weeks, a month. Your time frame is very important. Because if you're looking for next week, I don't know. I don't see that's a great one. If you're looking for 3 months from now, maybe a year from now, absolutely. What is your time frame to swing this, right? That is important. So you got to think about that, because I don't think we're done here with some downside, but can we go up to 170 and come back down? Absolutely. So your time frame, how long you want to tie up that money, is very, very important when it comes to swing trading. So, but there's a great book out there called How to Swing Trade by Brian Pessum. Definitely get that book. You're going to learn a lot from him as far as swing trading. What else, guys? SPY, what's the SPY up to? Let's see, take a look. Overall SPY here this morning. Yeah, usual stuff, not doing a whole lot. Who's that? As a guy drinks tequila and trades without a shirt right after I am done here. Jose is giving us Shopify, SHOP. What we got here? SHOP. Good day on Friday. What happened Friday? They had something earnings. Oh, look at that. This was market open, shot up nicely here. I don't like Shopify, guys. It's one of these tickers that their price action is funky for me. You should be a little bit lighter on volume. Yeah, so I'm not a big fan of the way they trade, but looks like they had a good day on Friday, good day Thursday, maybe a possible continuation today if they can do that. But again, I'm not a big fan, Jose, of Shopify. You gotta. This is one of those tickers where you have to know how to trade it, right? It's a funky ticker. The way I trade, this one doesn't fit well with me here. Bank of America. Oh, I missed you. Bank of America, BAC. Pretty quiet, and looks like it's got some couple of block trades here. 1.9 million shares traded. I'm not sure what happened last week Thursday. They had a nice pop there. I'm not sure. You guys have it on your list. What do you guys like about it today? As far as any news, maybe that you're looking out for, or that you like this one? Andrew is asking how is Mara. Again, Mara is sub 3.4, 606. It can. I mean, usually when I decide to trade it, this is what happens, and I stay away from it. Look at this garbage and this crap here. I don't get the Thursday. I don't get this a lot from Mara. See, this is beautiful, man. Thursday, I don't know what happened Thursday. I was trading Thursday. I don't remember this one, but this is nice. Mara used to trade like this more often than not. It doesn't do that anymore. But this right here is real nice as far as Mara goes. No, I haven't. Loud. I haven't traded pre-market in a very long time. Because most likely I'm doing this show, and so I don't really trade pre-market. And again, if I probably put all my pre-market trades together all time, I probably lose money pre-market or break even. So I rather just wait for the market open, to get the volume right, and kind of see what's going on. Nothing wrong with trading pre-market. I think you can make some of my really big winners I have got in pre-market because something hit like the low of like, okay, it's got to bounce from here. Like so obvious that this is the bottom after something reported news or earnings. And it's like, okay, this is like an Apple stock. We know it's not gonna go lower than, or it can, but I have feeling it's not gonna go lower. I'm taking the best guess and based on the technicals, and I made some pretty good money because if you get into a good bottom, pre-market goes up, market opens, you get the volume and it shoots up, you can do very well. But again, that's not often my strategy or my play. We got some moderators coming in with their watch list here. I got Thor, I got Jared. We'll wait for some other ones and we'll read those out to you. Thanks, Andrew. I'm doing well. Is there a chance you can take a look at Snap? Pivot range is super tiny. Money zone is super tiny and is higher relationship with money zone. Yes. How's the volume though? Let's see. I agree with all that you said there, but the volume is going to be key on Snap, right? And as far as the levels right now, you really got some pretty good levels here. Highs and lows of the last two trading days. You got the last daily spike you had over here in mid-August, so that's good. This is like the middle. Seems like the middle of the gap down that we had. Yeah, kind of right in the middle of things, right? So I think you're in a good spot. The key for Snap is volume. You need volume to move this ticker. 291 is not going to do it. And I think now that they're sitting at this level where they were before, you might just see some choppy action. I don't see it. I don't see it doing anything great. But we could be wrong. I think your ranges are correct, and I think that can create some momentum or breakout one way or the other. But you need volume on this thing, man, to intraday trade it. Man, look at it Friday. That is just brutal. Look at this. This is just nasty. So that's my take on Snap. It's one of these tickers like Twitter too. Twitter's the same thing. You need volume. Like I know we say that a lot, but let me be a little more specific. You need volume. Yeah, we always say you need volume. You need more than like a regular AMD. For example, like AMD would trade, by the market open, we'll have 1.5 on AMD. Apple, we have 1.5, 100,000, 1 million easily on these stocks on a regular basis. Your regular basis on Snap is probably like, it could easily be 800,000. You need like 3 times that for it to be in play. Just like normal volume on these tickers is not enough. You need like 3 times the normal volume for this thing to really get going and be active. or else they're just going to chop around. And that's just my experience with Snap, Twitter. There's a few on there that on a regular basis, like, well, the daily looks good, right? The daily on Twitter, well, not Twitter not anymore. Used to be 30 million all the time. What happened to this? Well, Elon Musk happened to it. That's what happened. Let's look at Snap. So Snap on the other hand, yeah, look at Snap. Snap is another one where you're getting, what is this, on a regular basis? 70 million, right? How can 70 million shares just trade like crap for a day, right? But that happens, right? You get 70 million shares on like Coin or even Nvidia, and you're rolling, right? You're rolling. You're not going to see that on Snap. So that's why the volume is so important on these tickers. You need to see some really, really good volume. Bank of America or Citigroup also on the list. All right, I'm always looking at Bank of America. Not very volatile, but makes its moves. Good, Melvin, and that's key right there. Like you can build your strategy on any ticker that that you're able to have an edge on. And if Bank of America, if you're watching it every day, then you know how it moves. It's kind of like Peter watches AMD every day, and I'm sure he's probably the best trader of AMD because he watches it every day, so he knows the DNA of that ticker. Same thing, man. If you watch Bank of America, if you watch them every day, you're able to capitalize on certain things there. Arvo, yeah, yep, correct. Thor, what are you using for on Disney? Thor, what do you see on Disney? We'll see what Thor says there. Carlos, what about Nvidia on the daily? Oh yeah, we didn't look at Nvidia today. Nvidia, yeah, it looks good. I like the daily. Oh, look at this. Daily is good actually on Nvidia. I prefer this over AMD, and here's the reason why. Because we're at the foot hill of this the bottom of this gap down that we had a few days ago with the Chinese issue, right? So we are right on there at the moment. So I like that on Nvidia. We're looking to close this gap now. This was, if you guys remember, the US prevented them from selling chips over to China, and I think it was like 10% of their business. It was a couple of $1 million. So that hurts in this economy. Anytime someone tells you can't do this and hurts your business. So I like that. I actually like them better than AMD. I'm going to move AMD. I'm going to take them off. I'm not going to forget the ticker AMD. But we have Tesla, we have Apple, we have Roblox, and I prefer Nvidia this morning. Nvidia levels towards the bottom, looking pretty good. Highs and lows there, doing a good job. And I'm just going to mark down right over here this daily 149.81. So that's a good one there. We got the nice gap. High of the pre-market 145. Yeah, I like Nvidia. It doesn't have the best volume at the moment or pre-market activity, but I like this daily. So thank you for pointing that out, Jason. That looks good. Gilead spread 2Y for ORB looks very active. Yes, again, I trade this before in the past. It's wild, man. It's wild. Right now you got a 10, 11 cents spread, which is not bad, but that's not really what kills this thing. It's the price action and the pullbacks, right? That's what does it. Because again, when you get in a trade, you have your entry and you have your stop where okay, I can't go past this, right? Maybe I'll give it a little wiggle room, but I can't go past this. This stock, Gilead, Tesla, they will test your stop over and over and over again, and they will go right through it and come right back up and go past your where you got in and make it a beautiful trade after that, right? And that's frustrating. That's why I hate trading Tesla. I don't hate it. I dislike it. Hating is too much negativity for a Monday morning. I dislike Tesla because of that, right? That drop, and then it comes right back up to your entry. Then the move that you were thinking about actually happens. So you can't have a stop that's like $3 away on Tesla just to make your move, right? That's the problem with trading Tesla. AMD, Apple, they don't do that. Nvidia, they don't do that. Tesla does. Gilead reminds me of Tesla. They do the same exact thing, right? So I hate that type of frustrating trading. I don't want to deal with that. So this is the reason why I keep them off my list. But they are in play today, and usually that happens at the open because I trade the open. Maybe later in the day they get a little more calm and they can be more of a trend trade and it's not as volatile. That could happen as well. All right, guys, 9:14. Let's get over here and let's look at our watch list this morning. Or we only have three. We only have Thor, Jared, and Amos, so we'll get through this quickly. Thor, we're looking at the SPY, Twitter, Disney, and Meta. Gilead as well. Jared will be looking at Apple and Oxy. Secondary list, Gilead, RCL, and a couple of viewing some swing trade setups for today. So maybe Jared will be on the mic later and can kind of give us what he likes for swings opportunities this afternoon. Eamon looking at potential longs, Netflix and Oxy, Megan, Snap, and Tesla, and Meta so far. And that is our moderators list, guys. Guys, have an amazing trading day. Today is Monday, so we will see you tonight on the onboarding class at 7, not 7, excuse me, 8 p.m., right? So 8 p.m. onboarding class in our chat room. So definitely join us there. We'd love to see you. Talk shop a little bit. We'll show you around about what a community looks like for those new members over on YouTube. And if you are on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. We're sitting at 176. With 422 watching, we'll love to see that hop over to 250. That would be a great, impressive gap up there. And we'll appreciate if you haven't done that already. But we'll see you tonight, guys, at 7. And for those in the room, Brian will be on shortly. Let's see if Brian can put his list out before we hop off here. Oh, Peter reminding us, Toronto Money Show coming up this weekend. Andrew will be presenting Saturday with an informal meetup to follow. I'll also be there, so Peter will be there as well. Register for the Money Show, and we look forward to seeing you there. All right, nice, guys. If you're in the area in Toronto, good opportunity to hang out with Andrew and Peter this coming weekend. I'm assuming that's going to be a Saturday. Here's the link. Let me share this over with our YouTube friends. And again, guys, for our meetups, just a quick reminder while Brian hops on, you do not need to be a member of the community, a BBT member. You can be, if you're on YouTube, you can still join us just as well. So let me just copy this message. I'm going to put this over here for our YouTube friends. 208, thank you guys. We're getting there. Put this over here for our YouTube friends so you guys have this ready to rock and roll. So, all right, we'll see what Brian's list looks like today. I'm going to cut this message so it fits, and then here's the link. Excellent. All right. Perfect, guys. All right, there it is. The Brian, the man, his watch list INM, which is also one of the low flows that's very active this morning. Oh, look at this. Look at this, my friends. Up 33%, 14 to 15 just now. Rocking and rolling there. CVN, Carvana, Gilead, BMY, and NEO on Brian's list. So excellent. Ready to rock and roll here, guys. This morning's not bad. Not bad. There are going to be some opportunities. There's some good risky opportunities here. Be very careful. And there's some good possibles depending on how you trade, right? I got Gilead, I got Roblox. Depending how you trade, even NEO's pre-market, man, looks good. Numbers look good. Intraday action after the bell, straight garbage at times. So let's see. Can they surprise us today? We'll see. AMC potential, coin, no good. But the rest of these other ones look pretty decent so far. All right. Excellent, guys. Just waiting for Brian, and we will hop off, and we will see you guys later today. Good morning, Brian. How you doing today?
Good morning. Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you doing? Good morning, everybody.
Doing great, my friend. Doing great. Had a great weekend. Hope you did as well. Guys over on YouTube, take care. Trade safe. We will see you guys tonight. Remember, at 8 p.m. tonight, onboarding class. Come hang out with us, and we'll show you around what the community looks like. All right, take care.